John Lynch met with us today at 49ers headquarters in Santa Clara. It's his annual pre-draft press conference. Had a lot to say about Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Brandon Ayuk, Nick Bosa, and a bunch of other stuff. Let's start with Trey Lance. It's clear, listening to John Lynch talk, that this is Brock Purdy's team. Trey Lance is going to get an opportunity to compete. The main reason he's going to get an opportunity to compete is because they're not getting the offers that they're looking for when it comes to a trade. First off, Lynch talked about the lack of calls that they're receiving on Lance. He talked about that being a whole lot of smoke, that the 49ers haven't been able to get very many calls, that those discussions that they've had have been not very substantive, so they're not getting much in terms of offers, and they're not getting very many phone calls to begin with, which I think kind of explains why Ian Rappaport came out with the report that he did last week, stating that the 49ers are taking calls on Trey Lance. I think the 49ers want more phone calls. I think the 49ers are trying to tell the NFL, hey, we're open for business. If you want Trey Lance, come and get him, but bring your best shot. The 49ers aren't just going to give him away. And then the other piece on the Lance deal that came out today was Aaron Rodgers getting dealt from the Green Bay Packers to the New York Jets. That doesn't help the situation at all either. You have Rodgers, who is a multi-time MVP, Pro Bowler, Super Bowl winner, all those things. And the best that the Green Bay Packers could get for him was a possible first-round pick next year. It's actually a second right now in 2024. But if Rodgers plays more than 65% of the snaps, it could get bumped up to a first round. But think about it this way. There's a big difference between Aaron Rodgers and Trey Lance. So right now I would, in a recent article, even here I had mentioned that the 49ers might be able to get a second round pick in regards to, for Trey Lance. Based on the Aaron Rodgers move today, I don't think that's really an option. I think the 49ers, the best that they're probably going to get is somewhere in the threes, maybe the fours, which I think explains a lot of why Trey Lance is going to be a member of the 49ers. John Lynch saying that today, that he expects Trey Lance to be on the 49ers roster this year. He's going to get a chance to compete. He's going to get a chance to earn a position on the 49ers and win a job. We'll see how that plays out. Lynch did say today that, as far as taking a quarterback in the draft, that there's been a lot of discussion around some of their interest in a player there. But that you always do your due diligence, you're doing your work. So maybe the interest in Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the quarterback out of UCLA, isn't quite what some of us thought it was. So we'll see what direction the 49ers go there. But like I said, Lynch today saying that Trey Lance will be with the 49ers on their roster in 2023. Just really came across, though, like they want to make sure that they get something good for him. And that doesn't sound like that Trey Lance is long for the 49ers. We'll see, though. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. Who knows? Brock Purdy. In terms of Brock Purdy, there's a little bit of a information given out today regarding the 49ers quarterback. When he underwent his surgery, the 49ers, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan both talked about the 12-week mark being the next big date for Brock Purdy. And Lynch went ahead and stated that again today, that it's that inflection point for Brock Purdy. It's at that 12-week mark. They're right now 6 weeks post, so we're looking at a date of around June 2nd for Brock Purdy to meet again with Dr. Keith Meister and possibly begin his throwing regimen to get himself going. Right now he is on schedule, on pace with everything that they expect. You saw him on, I believe it was Friday night, without the brace on his elbow. So things are progressing nicely for Brock Purdy. And as far as John Lynch saying, he's attacking each day, working hard at the 49ers facility, and everything tends to be going in the right track for Brock Purdy. So we'll see what happens there. But Brock Purdy, June 2nd, that's the date to keep an eye on for Purdy. That'll be right around the last week of OTAs and about a week before the start of mandatory minicamp for the 49ers. So keep an eye on there. Also, Brandon Ayuk. The question came up today with Brandon Ayuk as well. The 49ers had mentioned about a month ago that they were expecting to pick up his fifth-year option. That still has not happened. The fifth-year option drop dead date is the Monday after the draft. I believe that's May 1st. So we'll see if the 49ers pick up the 5th-year option on Brandon Ayuk. The whole reason there is because of paying Ayuk and Deebo Samuel top money. It might not work for the 49ers when you consider that they have Nick Bosa still to re-sign, and they have a lot of big money contracts around. According to John Lynch today, what he said is that we are looking for something special to happen this year. So I think that we're going to see Brandon Ayuk on the 49ers. I would expect them to pick up that 5th-year option of Brandon Ayuk. I don't necessarily expect him to be traded. I think the 49ers are really going all in on this season. They have a couple of older players, and Trent Williams, George Kittle, Eric Armstead's getting up there a little ways too. And I think they might see this as one of those years where it's time to kind of put up and shut up. This is an all-in year for the 49ers, maybe even more so than a year or two ago. So keep an eye on Brandon Ayuk. I believe he'll still be with the 49ers, but I think the deal with Ayuk, I would expect for something similar to what they did with DeForest Buckner around Ayuk. I think he's going to be with the team in 2023. He's going to have that 5th-year option, and he's going to be the trade bait that they're going to use in 2024 to move back up and add another pick at the top of their draft as they start to restructure this roster. Nick Bosa, mentioned him a minute ago. He's out in Florida working out as he does every offseason. He'll be back with the 49ers for mandatory minicamp, but before then he's going to be working out in Florida. John Lynch said today that as far as the Bosa extension, that's something that they're going to be putting off until after the draft. That's right now they're focused solely on the draft. They have a good track record of getting these types of deals done. Look for a Bosa deal to get done sometime in late July, early August, right around the time training camp gets kicked off. If they're able to get a deal done, it's going to be right around that point. It'll be a good deal for the 49ers too, because it could help them with saving some money against the salary cap. A couple other notes that Lynch mentioned today. Nick Zakelj, he was asked about the 6th-round pick from last year. Zakelj working out like crazy at the 49ers facility, according to the strength and conditioning staff. Lynch says that Zakelj has put on some strength. He's being much more explosive as well. So we'll see what happens with Zakelj. He's one of those guys who's has an opportunity to be the right tackle. He's maybe a little bit more of an interior offensive lineman, though. We'll see. He definitely has that ability to play all 5 positions in a pinch. But it seemed to me, like listening to what Lynch said today, they look at Zakelj as more of a guard center type of player. We'll see what direction they go there and how much improvement he made from year 1 to year 2. And then the one that did catch me off guard a little bit was John Feliciano. Lynch was asked if Feliciano has a chance to be in play for the right guard position. Remember, Spencer Burford started all year last year at right guard. Did split time there a little bit with Daniel Brunskill, who is now with the Tennessee Titans. But the answer that Lynch gave today was that right guard is definitely an option for Feliciano, that it's open for him. So I made me wonder if a couple of things. First off, do they not believe in Spencer Burford quite as much as you would think based off of how much he played last year? I'm more of the belief that it means that he's going to go play right tackle. They got an opening there. We're going to see what they decide to do, but there's an interesting chance that you might see John Feliciano be your starting right guard and Spencer Burford sliding over one spot to his right and becoming the starting right tackle. It's something just to keep an eye on there too. We'll get a better idea of this in a few weeks after the draft. The 49ers are going to have their rookie minicamp. Then about a week or two after that, you have the start of OTAs, and that's when we'll start to see these guys on the field a little bit. And it'll be interesting to see where they're lined up and what groups they're in and those types of things. So there you have it. Trey Lance, according to John Lynch, staying with the 49ers. But like I said, it sure sounds like they're trying to trade him or move on from him if they can. Doesn't sound like they're going to get the deal they want, so they're going to let him compete and try to win that job. Brock Purdy, they definitely feel good about him. One last thing on Brock Purdy. John Lynch was asked about Lamar Jackson today, and the response that he gave was that Lamar Jackson doesn't fit their structure. There's a lot of things there, and that they really believe in Brock Purdy. So if you really needed to know how the 49ers feel about this quarterback situation, you just need to listen to what John Lynch is saying. He's telling you that they like Brock Purdy, that if Brock Purdy is healthy, he is going to be their guy. The only reason that this discussion is even happening right now is because Purdy hurt himself, got injured in the game against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. If not for that, he walks into this season as the definite starter. It's definitely an uphill battle for Trey Lance. There's a really good possibility that he could have a terrific offseason, but not be able to get any starts or even hit the field if Brock Purdy is fully healthy. If Brock Purdy's fully healthy and the same guy that he was last year, it's going to be his job to lose. So interesting day in Santa Clara. A lot more coming up. We have the draft coming up Thursday. 49ers right now don't have a pick though until Friday. We'll see if that changes. Keep it locked in here though to Inside the Farms with Jack Hammer. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to tune in. If you guys can do me a favor, hit that like button on your way out, and then also if you're already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. When you hit the subscribe button, also hit the little bell notification so you don't miss it when we go live or put new content up. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Take care, everybody. We'll be talking with you soon.